if a coach, a basketball coach, whether in the NBA or the PBA, decides, for whatever reason, I'm going to rest my star players. The coach will have his reason. It could be strategy, it could be whim, trip lang niya. Gusto ko pahinga sila eh. Bakit ba? What is wrong with that? I mean, is it wrong? Is there something wrong with that?
Siyempre, this is coming off the heels of yung ginawa nga ni Pop sa San Antonio. They were fined $250,000 for doing that. Timing siguro, no? Kasi it was
Miami.
It was a Miami game. It was a nationally televised game. That's the States yung Thursday night game at saka yung Sunday games lang naman na nationally televised and the Friday on ESPN. Nationally televised game. Fans came out, they bought the tickets, yun yung dahilan.
Pero bayad na eh.
Bayad na.
Walang may alam na hindi maglalaro yung Stars.
Yeah.
Pero defending champion yung Miami. They would have watched them play against the Cavaliers
anyway,
or Toronto or whoever.
But I think I would agree with Stern on this. Not on the 250,000 fine, but it's a disservice dun nga sa fans dahil everybody was expecting to have a really, really nice game with all the stars in there. So, di ba yung iba nga, they even bought the tickets like 3 months before para lang mapanood sila Tim Duncan or whatever. And they
you have to buy your
so
tickets very early for those kinds of games.
Exactly. So it's really a disservice.
Pero,
so I guess for Pop, what you could have done, kapal ng mukha ko. Sasuggest para ako, Pop, what you could have done is pinace mo sila dahil 4 sunod-sunod yung road games nyo. Dapat pinacing mo sila.
Sinama na lang sana niya tapos tinipid na lang niya dun sa game.
Pacing na lang yung
performance.
Okay,
sa 4-game road trip, kung nagmarunong na rin, no? Yung first game yung pa mismo. Wag yung Miami game, pero nasa diskarte ni Pop yan eh.
Oh, let's ask the coach.
Mas genius tayo.
It's tough, two sides to the story. Of course, you have the one side, the NBA is definitely a business, it's for the fans, and it's really tough, as you guys mentioned, for the fans. But then, at the same time, for Popovich, why would you schedule the Spurs on a nationally televised game against the defending champions after having them go through such a hard road trip? And of course, that's where injuries really happen. Usually at the end, pagod na talaga yung mga players. I mean, they're more injury prone. So he has a point. And what I just don't like is just last year they were saying, oh, Popovich is a great coach. He can do whatever he wants in terms of resting his players. You don't question a guy who has like close to a 700 winning percentage. And then now you just fine him 250,000. Where's the precedent there? And then, like, for future, how about teams who mysteriously come up with injuries for their star players towards the end of the season, let the bench guys play.
Bakit wala na fa-fine pag
I need to develop my players. Yeah. That's the same thing. You're depriving the fans of seeing the superstars when your real reason is to tank and get yourself to better position.
So, just to be clear, hindi si Pop na-fine. It was the Spurs. It was the Spurs as an organization.
Yeah, but that's because of what Pop did.
We rested our star player one of these games earlier in the conference.
Sa Global Port? Ba't wala nagpa-fine sa inyo? That's part of strategy, di ba?
Na-rest na. I'm
but
sure the fans wanted to see that.
You were saying na bakit kailan pa may 4-game on road sila na game, bakit dun pa ilalagay yung Miami game. But it's not like it doesn't happen every year. They always have that streak where they're always out of town.
But that's their point kasi it was on their very last game of the road trip, nationally televised pa, which is like double whammy for him. I mean, you could have scheduled it in some other way if that's how the league feels, I guess.
So kasalanan ng league.
medyo lang.
Yun na rin, scheduling concerns. Parang,
I mean, that's what some of the
naman
points
yan yung mga Thursday games na yan, parang Christmas Day game, parang they always choose the best matchups for that.
For sure.
Siguro si Pop na lang, diskarte niya talaga.
But they've known that diba?
And then the Heat had like a week off to prepare for that game. So, parang it's kind of
baka
nga scheduling problems.
I mean, that's
talaga.
what Pop was saying. And I guess...
Because Pop believes, I truly believe this, that Pop believes in his head na susunod na biyahe niya sa once a year lang naman sila pupunta sa East Coast teams eh. The other times dun sila sa home. Yung mga ka-grupo mo lang at ka-conference
yung
may mas
Memphis
marami.
So I guess that
yun kasi Memphis yung next game eh. Kaya mas importante sa kanya makapagpahinga doon sa Memphis. And Pop truly believes in his head na come June, babalik naman sila sa Miami. Diba? Diba?
No, talaga.
Pop will believe that. Pop will believe that. We will be back here come the finals.
For sure, he's looking at the big picture, you know, and you can't really question him. He knows what's best. He's looking after his player. But at the same time, then, you know, if you're a fan, if I were there, I'm sure I'd be pissed if I flew all the way to Miami, paid this amount.
Buti na nga lang maganda yung nilaro ng
But still, I'm on Pop's side. That's why I wish they would have won. The Spurs would have won
I
against
know.
me.
Buti na nga lang ang ganda ng laban.
Oh, buti dikit.
Buti na lang.
Kaya nga yung isa pa maganda tanong, kung nanalo yung Spurs, issue ba yan?
Or yun na
Hindi.
Oh,
Wala nga.
diba?
Tsaka actually masyado nga steep yung 250,000 eh.
You know, I think, sige, I understand na you sanction the Spurs because it's a disservice to the fans because, you know, there was no prior information, na parang abiso na wala yung star players namin. But it's the same, you buy a ticket and you do buy your ticket early unless mag-scalper ka. Kala mo, araneta lang eh. Kala mo, sa MOA lang, scalper. But, you know, kunyari, you go there and then yung pala before the game, you know, doon mo lang malalaman. May sakit pala o
nangyari sa akin yun kay Kobe.
oh.
Fight. Gusto ko siya panood.
Wala ka magagawa, ganun eh. Freak accident, nadulas sa parking lot.
That happened to
Diba?
me when Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards was supposed to play the Golden State Warriors. Biglang
Biglang wala.
wala si Jordan, di ba?
That's how it is.
I love the Warriors, but come on. I was gonna go there to watch Jordan.
Ganun eh. Ako, sa akin, kung believe ka kay Popovich, if you're like, you know, if you're a fan of Popovich, you have faith in whatever his ways are. And I think this is part of it. Maybe it's easy to explain, maybe it's not.
Baka yun nga. Dahil yung Miami, 1 week to prepare kami, galing kami sa 3 laro, di ba nga, you're on the road.
Yeah.
Di ba? Hindi ko isasalang yung 3 ko dyan at mapapahiya kami. Hayaan ko na matalo.
Mind games. Mind games now, it's up to Popovich to justify. Kasi malaki-laki yung fine na binayaran ng team. It's up for him and for the Spurs how they'll perform. And then we'll see kung genius move nga yung ginawa niya and worth it. Kung worth it nga yung 250,000.
I'm sure he's also scared because he already lost Stephen Jackson and Leonard to injuries. If he loses
any one of those guys.
So if it happens to anybody else or anybody else ever pulls it, PBA, NBA, other sports, it will depend on the situation pa rin, no? It's subject to ano ba? Or talagang mali lang kung mali.
Because it's a coaching move and therefore it's open to different interpretations. And the PBA it happens also. Depende sa strategy. Kunyari, sinong gusto mong kalaban, ganito. Lalo na pag mga quotient scenario, it can happen.
He benched Duncan last year for being old, diba? They didn't find him for that. What kind of a reason is that?
DNP old.
He's a character. I like.
So we'll see. Pagdating na end of the season, then we'll all find out kung genius move nga yung ginawa ni Popovich.